up against.
We should try.
Hello and welcome live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy, and coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister inaugurates key slum rehabilitation project, among others, in Delhi, says the initiatives reflect his government's commitment to empower Delhi's populace. South Korean investigators dropped their bid to arrest impeached President Yoon after a 6-hour standoff with the security team. First arguments in Yoon's impeachment trial to be held on the 14th of this month. And the FBI says ISIS-inspired military vet acted alone in the New Orleans terror ramming. The Vega Cybertruck explosion perpetrator is identified as a highly trained Green Beret soldier who shot himself before the blast. Let's now take you across live to a briefing by India's Ministry of External Affairs.
So we start from Ayushi first.
Sir, this is Ayushi Agarwal from ANI. I have two questions. One on Bangladesh. Has there been any response from our side to Bangladesh regarding Sheikh Hasina's extradition? Second, sir, there has been a lot of debate on H-1B visas. We saw recent comments by US President-elect Donald Trump, which is in contrast to what he had said earlier. What is India's comment on that, since Indians are main beneficiaries of H-1B visas, how it is going to impact India-US relationship?
Pranay.
So Pranay Upadhyay from Amar Ujala. My question relates to the recent media reports published in the Washington Post claiming that India tried to subvert the Maldivian government. And since the Maldivian foreign minister is likely to visit India, I want your comment on that. Also, there are media reports claiming that the Indians have carried out certain operations inside Pakistan and some Hawala payments being done, claimed by the media report. What do you have to say on that?
Okay. Uma.
So I'm Huma Siddiqui from the Financial Express. The PBD is happening. Who is the chief guest for the PBD? The Iranian foreign minister was here. So can you just give a sense of what was discussed? Because he apparently energy security was one of the issues that they wanted to discuss.
Siddharth.
Hi, sir, Siddharth from Yoon. So my question is, any update on the Nimisha Priya case? We have seen how the Iranians are keen to help the Indian side of the issue. How do you see that outreach by the Iranian side?
Sir, K.M. Sharma from Bharat Express. There has been a report that extradition of Muhabbar Rana is very close. Is this so or not?
Okay, let's look at these questions first, and then we'll come back. Ayushi, first your question regarding Bangladesh. A week back I had confirmed that we had received a communication from the Bangladesh authorities in respect of former PM Sheikh Hasina. Further than that, I have nothing to add at this point in time. On H-1B visa, you would understand that this India-US partnership, which is an expansive world, and both our countries have strong and growing economic and technological partnership. And within this ambit, mobility of skilled professionals is an important component in this ambit and this collaboration. India-US economic ties benefit a lot from the technical expertise provided by skilled professionals, with both sides leveraging their strengths and competitive value. We look forward to further deepening India-US economic ties, which are to our mutual benefit. On your question regarding Pranay, regarding articles recently published, I want to These are articles that you referred were published by Washington Post, one on Maldives and the other one in relation to Pakistan. So to that, I would say that both the newspaper and the reporter in question appear to nurse a compulsive hostility towards India. You can see a pattern in their activities. I leave you to judge their credibility. As far as we are concerned, they have none. And as far as Pakistan is also mentioned in the article. So on Pakistan, I would like to remind you what Hillary Clinton said. You can't, and she said, and I quote, you can't keep snakes in your backyard and expect them only to bite your neighbors. So that is my response to your question. Huma, on the Pravasi Bharati Divas celebrations which are going to be held next week in Odisha, we will be having a formal press conference and a press release where you will be given the details of the chief guest, etc. So I will urge you to just be a little patient. On the visit of the Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister, yes, he is visiting India. He is to have talks with his counterpart, that is Foreign Secretary shortly, around once the talks are over, because he's come here for the 19th India-Iran Foreign Office consultations. Once those consultations conclude, we will have a press release where you will get details of all the issues that were discussed and how we intend to take forward our ties with Iran. So by evening, you will have more details on that. Possibly there will be several other calls on or some meetings as well. So we'll update you on those. Siddhant, on Nimisha Priya case, we are closely following the developments there. As we had told you earlier also, that the government is extending all possible help in the matter, and we'll see how things go forward from here. Krishna Mohanji, your question regarding Tahaur Rana. This is a matter which is still under consideration on the US side. So it is, I understand, with the US court. That is where it is presently, where it lies at this point in time. Can we have more questions? Madhu?
सर मधुरेंद्र मैं न्यूज़ नेशन से। बांग्लादेश में हिंदू संत चिन्मय दास की रिहाई को लेकर अभी सवाल बना हुआ है। जिस तरह से उनकी अर्जी को खारिज किया गया और उनको रिहाई नहीं मिली है, उससे फिर एक बार ये सवाल उठने लगे हैं कि मानवाधिकार और खासतौर पे हिंदुओं की सुरक्षा के जो सवाल हैं उसे बांग्लादेश में एड्रेस सरकार नहीं कर रही है, क्योंकि तमाम दलीलों को फिर से खारिज करके उन्हें जमानत नहीं दिया गया है। एक सवाल और है सर कि क्या पीएम मोदी ट्रंप के शपथ ग्रहण समारोह में जाएंगे? ऐसी चर्चा चल रही है।
तो इस पे पहले वाले पे सवाल क्या है आपका?
इंडिया का कंसर्न।
अच्छा, ठीक। नीरज
सर, नीरज न्यूज 18 इंडिया से। इजराइल में जो हाल के दिनों में भारतीय वर्कर्स की संख्या बढ़ी है, क्या वो संख्या 7 अक्टूबर के बाद इसमें कितना इजाफा हुआ है, और 7 अक्टूबर से पहले कितने भारतीय थे जो वहां काम कर रहे थे, और 7 अक्टूबर के बाद अब तक वो संख्या कितनी है?
ऋषभ?
Good evening, sir. Rishabh from Times Now. I have two questions, both related to China. One, there is a dam being built, and it's being reported to be world's biggest dam, largest dam for that matter, on the Chinese part of Brahmaputra River. It will affect definitely India and Bangladesh. While China says that it won't affect that much to India and Bangladesh, but what will India have a response to that? A. B. There are two new counties that have been created. One by China, and one of those county has a significant part of Aksai Chin into it. So what will be your response on that?
Ayangsha?
So this is Ayangsha Maitra. This is in line of the visit of sanctioned country Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Dr. Mazid. So were sanction, currency and Chabahar port discussed during the bilateral meeting? And also Afghanistan.
Sir, Keshav Padmanabhan from The Plate. Connected question to what Rishabh had asked, sir, with regard to China. The press release with regard to the special representative meeting had pointed out that, positive movements towards rivers were discussed. So was this dam discussed during the SR meeting? Was there any sort of discussion on this kind of water sharing during the meeting, sir? Thank you.
Okay, we have 5 questions. First, मधु, आपका सवाल बांग्लादेश में जो रिहाई की बात आपने कही, हम लोगों ने पहले भी कहा है कि हमारा ये मानना है और हमारा एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि बांग्लादेश में जिस प्रकार की कार्रवाई चल रही है उस पर जो वहाँ इंडिविजुअल्स हैं जिनको गिरफ्तार किया गया है उनको एक फेयर ट्रायल मिलेगा, यही हमारी अपेक्षा है। दूसरा जो आपने कहा नए ट्रम्प सरकार के आने वाली सरकार के बारे में, तो अमेरिका के साथ हमारे बड़े गहने और घनिष्ठ रिश्ते हैं। हमारी एक स्ट्रेटजिक पार्टनरशिप है। पिछले कई एक सालों में या दशकों में ये इस रिश्ते में बहुत मजबूती आई है और नए आने वाले सरकार ट्रम्प सरकार के साथ के एडमिशन के साथ भी हम लोग मजबूती से काम करना चाहेंगे। इसके अलावे मेरे पास आपको पता होगा कि अभी विदेश मंत्री और हमारे फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी भी वहाँ का दौरा करके आए हैं, जिसका हम लोगों ने आपको इसके बारे में बताया भी है मीडिया के माध्यम से। तो हम आने वाले दिनों में इस रिश्ते को और प्रगाढ़ और मजबूत करना चाहेंगे। बाकी जो सवाल आपका रहा उस पर अगर कोई और डेवलपमेंट होगा तो हम आपको ज़रूर अवगत कराएंगे। नीरज, 7 अक्टूबर को जो घटना हुआ इजराइल में, उस वक़्त तक ये हमारा मानना है कोई 20 से 1 हज़ार लोग वहाँ पर हमारे थे। उस बेस 1,000 20 से 21 हज़ार हों, उसमें 2-3 हज़ार 2,500 हज़ार लोग वापस आए थे। आज की स्थिति ये है, बहुत लोग वापस भी गए हैं, अपने काम के लिए गए हैं, अपने स्वेच्छा से गए हैं, और कुछ लोग गवर्नमेंट टू गवर्नमेंट रूट जो करार हुआ है, एग्रीमेंट हुआ है, उसके तहत भी गए हैं, वो भी स्वेच्छा से गए हैं। तो कुल मिलाकर जो हम लोग का मानना है कि अभी वहाँ 30 से 32 हज़ार लोग हमारे हैं। तो एक 20 हज़ार हुआ और अभी का जो एक मोटा मोटा जो आंकलन है वो 32 हज़ार लोगों का है। ज़्यादातर लोग जो देखिए इसमें लोग हैं वहाँ पर केयर गिवर्स हमारे बहुत तादाद में हैं। उसके अलावा जो लोग वहाँ कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर्स में काम करने जा रहे हैं G2G के माध्यम से, और अपने भी रास्ते से प्राइवेटली भी लोग जा रहे हैं। Rishabh, your question on China. First about the dam that you referred to. We have seen the information released by Xinhua on 25th December 2024 regarding a hydropower project on the Yarlung Sangpo River in the Tibet Autonomous Region of China. As a lower riparian state with established user rights to the waters of the river, we have consistently expressed through expert level as well as diplomatic channels our views and concerns to the Chinese side over mega projects on rivers in their territory. These have been reiterated along with the need for transparency and consultation with downstream countries following the latest report. The Chinese side has been urged to ensure that the interests of downstream states of the Brahmaputra are not harmed by activities in upstream areas. We will continue to monitor and take necessary measures to protect our interests. You also had a question regarding the counties. We have seen the announcement pertaining to the establishment of 2 new counties in Hotan Prefecture of China. Parts of jurisdiction of these so-called counties fall in India's Union Territory of Ladakh. We have never accepted the illegal Chinese occupation of Indian territory in this area. Creation of new counties will neither have a bearing on India's long-standing and consistent position regarding our sovereignty over the area, nor lend legitimacy to China's illegal and forcible occupation of the same. We have lodged a solemn protest with the Chinese side through diplomatic channels on this matter. Ayanksha, about what has been discussed, etc., as I told you, the Foreign Office consultations wherein the Deputy Foreign Minister of Iran and our Foreign Secretary will be leading the two sides is to happen shortly, within a few hours. So once the meeting happens, you will get a readout of what is going to be discussed. But as you know, our relations with Iran are deep and wide and engaging. There are several components to it, economic facets to it, people-to-people ties, cultural ties, etc., energy partnership, so on and so forth. All these issues will be discussed. Keshav, you referred to the SR level meetings. On that, what was discussed was clearly defined in the press release from our side. So I would urge that please focus on the content of those press release, where we discussed all issues of mutual interest. Can we have more questions? Jessica?
Jessica Paneja for DD India. So there are reports that Indian nationals with valid US and Schengen visas are being stopped by Mexican immigration authorities. Any comments on that?
Enjoy.
Sir, this relates to Bangladesh. At this point, they are in discussions with a Turkish firm called Otokar to buy 26 light tanks for their army. Now, considering the situation since the last 3 months, and also the fact that the geography of Bangladesh being what it is, on its north, west, and east, there is only India, and the south is the Bay of Bengal. So these tanks are being purchased at this point. Now, does India see this purchase as a message? And if it is a message, what can India say on it?
Okay. Gautam.
Yeah, thank you. Gautam Lahiri. Recently, I am drawing your attention to recently some reports have appeared that terrorists have been arrested in Bengal, and they were mostly the foreigners, but they are holding Indian passports. After that, West Bengal government has written to Ministry of External Affairs to look into this matter to change the rules, if possible, so that no non-Indian get the passports. So what is your comment on that?
Well,
hi sir, this is Jugal from the BBC. You did mention that India has received an extradition request from Bangladesh. Will you be able to shed some light on what is the case that government has made out for extradition? Because there are dozens of cases in which Sheikh Hasina has been named as an accused. So some light on that possibly.
Manish?
सर, मैं मनीष झा हूँ TV9 भारतवर्ष से। हालांकि आपने मधुरेंद्र के सवाल के जवाब में भी बताया कि क्या प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ट्रंप के ओथ में जाएंगे या नहीं, लेकिन चूंकि आपने ये जिक्र किया कि विदेश मंत्री भी वहाँ गए थे, और आपने देखा होगा कि भारत में बहुत से पॉलिटिकल लीडर, खास करके कई मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट हैं, कई फॉर्मर मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट हैं, उन्होंने बहुत सारी ऐसी टिप्पणियाँ की कि विदेश मंत्री क्यों अमेरिका गए हैं, और उसको लेकर बहुत सारी स्टेट्समैन अपने मीडिया में देखे ही हों। तो विदेश मंत्रालय का इस पर क्या रिएक्शन है, जिस तरह से विदेश मंत्री को इस पर ट्रोल किया गया है?
Okay. So first, Jessica, to your question, I would also use this opportunity to draw your attention to this particular problem which our nationals are having. A number of Indian nationals with valid visas who've gone to Mexico, they have faced problems at the airport, at immigration points, for lack of documentation or for lack of satisfactory answers to immigration authorities. Therefore, I mean, in all such cases, our embassy has intervened and tried to support and provide them whatever assistance they can. But because of this difficulty, our embassy has issued travel advisories which are available on their website. This is to inform Indian travelers who are going to Mexico that they must keep these difficulties in mind or follow all the regulations that are there in place so that they are not discomforted when they are traveling to Mexico. So I would urge from this podium that Indian nationals who desire us to travel to Mexico must look at these travel advisories as you are planning your travel to Mexico. Srinjoy, on your question, Foreign Secretary had visited Bangladesh, and after the visit we had come out with an understanding through a press release where we clearly mentioned that India supports a democratic, stable, peaceful, progressive and inclusive Bangladesh, and we also reiterated our willingness to build a positive and constructive relationship with Bangladesh based on mutual trust, respect and mutual sensitivity to each other's concerns and interests. So this has been our approach to Bangladesh, and this will be our approach to the question that you asked. And as far as security issues that you raised, as you know that we closely follow all developments in our neighborhood and take appropriate measures and actions. Gautamda, your question, Indian passports are meant for Indian nationals. If there has been any digression away from that, our agencies, our authorities will take appropriate action, legal action in that regard. Jugal, regarding the Bangladeshi request, I have shared with you what I had to share. Beyond that, I have nothing more to comment on this matter. Manish, विदेश मंत्री और हमारे विदेश सचिव दोनों अमेरिका की यात्रा करके आए। अमेरिका के साथ हमारे बड़े अच्छे संबंध हैं, गहरे संबंध है। विदेश मंत्री वहाँ पर अपने जो काउंटर पार्ट हैं, सेक्रेटरी ऑफ स्टेट, उनसे मुलाकात की। उसके अलावा उन्होंने जो NSA हैं उनसे मुलाकात की, और जो इनकमिंग NSA हैं माइक वॉल्ट्स, उनसे उनकी मुलाकात हुई, और साथ ही साथ ट्रांजिशन टीम के कई एक मेंबरान के साथ भी उनकी मुलाकात हुई। विदेश मंत्री का दौरा जो अमेरिका का हुआ, वो जो हमारे रिश्ते हैं उसको मजबूत करना और लगातार दोनों देशों के बीच में वार्तालाप चलते रहे, मसले आगे बढ़ते रहें, रिश्ते मजबूत होते रहें, इस ऑब्जेक्टिव को लेके ये दौरा हुआ। जहाँ तक दूसरे सवाल का जवाब है, मैंने कहा कि जो नए ट्रंप एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन US की आने वाली है, उसके साथ हम लोग मिलकर काम करना चाहेंगे और इन रिश्तों को और भी मजबूत करना चाहेंगे। आपने देखा होगा पिछले 2 दशक में या उससे ज़्यादा में ये रिश्ते को नई ऊंचाई मिली है, और लगातार हर दिन, हर महीने, हर साल आप देखेंगे कि नई ऊंचाई पे ये रिश्ते जा रहे हैं। चाहे वो आर्थिक मामला हो, चाहे टेक्नोलॉजी का मामला हो, चाहे लोगों के बीच के रिश्ते का मामला हो। तो ये इस संदर्भ को आपको ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा जब जो सवाल आपने किया उसको समझने के लिए।
कादम्बिनी शर्मा फ्रॉम NDTV। सर, अभी आपने बताया कि मौजूदा NSA से विदेश मंत्री की मुलाकात हुई, हमने तस्वीरें भी देखी, और जेक सलिवन अगले हफ्ते भारत आ रहे हैं, तो क्या यहाँ के दौरे के लिए कुछ विशेष एजेंडा है?
प्रणय
सर, प्रणय उपाध्याय, अमर उजाला से। जैसा कि आप जानते ही हैं, हाल में भारत की कई लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट एजेंसीज विभिन्न राज्यों के अंदर बांग्लादेशी जो अवैध घुसपैठी हैं या नागरिक यहाँ पर हैं, उनको डिपोर्ट कर रही हैं। और इसी बीच में एक बयान पश्चिम बंगाल, जो कि बांग्लादेश से जुड़ा हुआ, जिसकी सीमा लगी हुई है, उसके मुख्यमंत्री का भी आया कि घुसपैठ करवाई जा रही है और जो BSF जैसी एजेंसीज हैं वो इसमें इन्वॉल्व हैं। क्या इस संबंध में खासतौर पर जो डिपोर्टेशन की प्रोसेस चल रही है उसको लेकर बांग्लादेश सरकार के साथ कोई संपर्क हुआ है, संवाद हुआ है?
नीरज।
सर मैं नीरज दुबे प्रभा साक्षी से। मेरा सवाल ये है कि सर अभी जो कनाडा में भारतीयों के अपमान का एक नया मामला सामने आया है, उसमें जो भारतीय छात्र हैं उनको रिफ्यूजी कहकर उनका अपमान किया जा रहा है, तो इस तरह के मामले वहाँ पर लगातार बढ़ रहे हैं। इस पर विदेश मंत्रालय
A question there, please.
Hi, sir. Ellie Grounds from ABC Australia. Just another question on Nimisha Priya. Her lawyer says that the Indian mission in Saudi Arabia has facilitated the previous payments of so-called blood money, but the family of the man says that he hasn't received them. Can you confirm that the Indian government was helping to facilitate those payments, and if it will continue to do that in the coming weeks?
Okay. Hello.
Karlol Bhattacharya from the Hindu, sir. So far, we used to see there are fishermen-related problems between India and Bangladesh, India and Pakistan, and India and Sri Lanka. But yesterday's press release made it clear that there have been arrests of Indian fishermen by Bangladesh, as well as of Bangladesh fishermen by Indian authorities over the last 2 to 3 months, which basically coincides with the downturn in bilateral relationships. So my question is, this particular development where Indian authorities and Bangladesh authorities are basically apprehending and arresting fisher folks, is this a reflection of the negative turn in the relationship? And my second question is, on the 31st of December 2024, the student coordinators of the uprising in Bangladesh had promised to take out a rally where the 1972 Constitution of Bangladesh was to be buried. They were prevented from doing it by the interim government, and now the interim government has said that they would come out with a July declaration, which is in a way being interpreted as an alternative to the 1972 Constitution, or probably would give it an alternative path for the country for the future of Bangladesh. Do you think this sort of initiatives and announcements tantamount to downgrading the current constitution of Bangladesh?
ओके कादम्बरी, पहला सवाल आपका। अमेरिका के राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार जेक सलिवन भारत की यात्रा पर आने वाले हैं। उनकी मुलाकात अपने भारतीय काउंटरपार्ट अजित डोवल साहब उनके साथ होगी। जैसा कि मैंने पहले बताया कि ये रिश्ता का अंबार इतना बड़ा है कि इसमें लगातार दोनों देशों के बीच, दोनों पक्षों के बीच में विस्तृत बातें चलती रहती हैं। लगातार दोनों पक्ष एक दूसरे से बातचीत करते रहते हैं और इस सरकार की अवधि ख़त्म हो रही है, लेकिन चूँकि ये रिश्ता इतना मजबूत है कि ये जो इस प्रकार का आना जाना और जो सरकार की अवधि ख़त्म होने से पहले ये और हमारे रिश्ते की मजबूती को दर्शाता है। तो इसमें बहुत सारी बातचीत होगी। जो आईसेट के मामले में और भी चीज़ें हैं, बायलैटरल मुद्दे हैं, वो बातचीत होगी। राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार के जो मीटिंग होने वाले हैं 6 तारीख को, मेरे ख्याल से ये होगा। प्रणय, आपका सवाल इलीगल इन्फिल्ट्रेटर्स, उनके डिपोर्टेशन को लेके है। तो देखिए, हमारे देश में कानूनबद्ध और विधिवद्ध लोग आएँ और जाएं। अगर विधि और कानून के खिलाफ लोग आएंगे और जाएंगे तो उन पर कार्रवाई होगी। तो बड़ा सीधा सवाल है। जो हमारे फोर्स हैं, जो बल, सेना बल है, जो बॉर्डर पर तैनात हैं, उनका काम है कि देश को सुरक्षित रखना और देश को विधिवद्ध, कानूनबद्ध आगे ले जाना। तो वो अपना काम कर रहे हैं। डिपोर्ट के बाद कितने लोग डिपोर्ट हैं उसके बारे में मेरी जानकारी नहीं है, लेकिन मैं इस पर आप लोग को अवगत करा सकता हूँ। नीरज, भारतीय छात्र कनाडा में, मेरे ख्याल से कनाडा के अंदर करीबन 4,30,000 से ज़्यादा भारतीय छात्र हैं। शायद दुनिया में इतने तादाद में हमारे छात्र, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स कोई और देश में शायद ना हैं। इससे हम लोगों को कनाडा और भारत के बीच में जो लोगों के बीच में जो संबंध है और जो हमारा आर्थिक संबंध है और उसको काफ़ी मजबूती मिलती है। और चाहेंगे कि हम ये रिश्ते और जो हमारे स्टूडेंट जा रहे हैं उनको कोई कठिनाई ना हो, उनके देखभाल के लिए हमारे कॉन्सुलेट, हमारा हाई कमीशन वहाँ पर है। और ये छुटपुट जो कठिनाई हुई होगी इसको हम लोग देख रेख करने के लिए हमारी हाई कमीशन और हमारे कॉन्सुलेट लगातार तैयार हैं और हर तरीके का सहयोग देने के लिए तैयार है हमारे छात्रों को। On a question regarding Nimisha Priya, I said that we are closely following the developments around her sentencing, and thereafter I also said, and I would like to repeat, that the government is extending all possible support in the matter. Kalol, on the fishermen issue, see, these fishermen, as you would have seen in the press release that we issued, this exchange is going to happen on 5th. 95 fishermen from our side are going to be released. 95 from their side, Indian fishermen, and 90 from our side. This will happen on 5th of January. These fishermen had gone astray, as it happens in waters where you don't have proper marking, etc. Or sometimes people can just lose their way. So that is what has happened. As far as general approach to your other question also, general approach to our relations with Bangladesh is concerned, we have made it very clear, and I would like to repeat again, this approach of ours to fostering ties with Bangladesh was made very clear during Foreign Secretary's visit to Dhaka. Very highlighted India's support for a democratic, stable, peaceful, progressive and inclusive Bangladesh. He also reiterated India's willingness to build a positive and constructive relationship with Bangladesh based on mutual trust and respect and mutual sensitivity to each other's concerns and interests. He also emphasized that people are the main stakeholders in Bangladesh-India relations and noted that India's development cooperation and multifaceted engagements with Bangladesh, including in areas of trade, connectivity, and other capacity building areas, are all geared towards the benefit of the people of Bangladesh. So, that has been our approach. There are several developments that are happening. There are developments happening on a daily basis, but our generic approach to Bangladesh is what I told you. We would like to foster these ties. If we don't have any more questions. Siddhant?
So yesterday the Pakistani foreign minister held a briefing in which, in response to a question on India, he said that it takes two to tango and there needs to be a goodwill from the Indian side to reciprocate from the Pakistani side. What's your reaction on that? And another second question on China, there have been reports of new epidemic there. It's being reported. Any reaction, any concerns?
So on the epidemic there, I don't have an update. But now that you've raised it, I will also look at it. I have not seen any myself, but let me come back to you. On the question of the comments made by the Pakistani Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, there I would like to refer to tango. The relevant word, T, the relevant T word there is terrorism and not tango. With that, we come to the closure of this session. Thank you very much.
So there you saw the briefing that was done by the Ministry of External Affairs, its spokesperson, and you also saw how very clear statements were made pertaining to certain developments in China, where two new counties have been announced in the Hotan prefecture of China, and now India has lodged a protest because it's been shown that these parts of the jurisdiction of these counties fall in the Indian Union territory of Ladakh, and very clearly India said that India never accepted the illegal Chinese occupation of Indian territory in this area. So a protest has been lodged through diplomatic channels on that. Also on the project that has been again announced, which is supposedly the largest hydro power project in the world in the Yarlung-Tsangpo river, which is the Brahmaputra, when it comes downstream to India and Bangladesh. India said that it's being closely monitored and that the Chinese side has been urged to ensure that interests of downstream states of the Brahmaputra are not harmed by activities in upstream areas. The spokesperson also talked about a visit of the US NSA, Jake Sullivan, next week to India. and many other engagements around the world, including India and Iran, fairly extensively. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day, and we'll get you more as the day develops further on our mobile app as well, which can be downloaded by scanning that QR code from both iOS and for Android. We'll be back with more as the news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.